All right. Hello and welcome to the, I guess, last new center of this set with VJ.Wolf. All right. So this one was the worst to build before I knew what I was supposed to do because I was trying to go with normal green stuff and everything. But there isn't really anything on this card's effect that you have to build around, to be honest. We're going to see that in a second. But then I came back and went with this build after I was told that there isn't much to do with Wolf more than Terror Beasts. So, and while building this, I got really into Terror Beasts, and now I want to build Terror Beasts, but without this team, I think, with a different center. That's for another video. But I feel like the main deck is gonna stay the same. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with this. Let's go into the build, and we'll talk a little bit more at the end. So what does this VJ.Wolf third verse do? Do. So team action, you can down it to Energy Charge 2, and then on enter, this Elrig gets constant signy on your field, get plus 5k power until the end of turn. It's just the turn that it enters, so you kind of want to go all out with this build on that turn. Well, I wouldn't say all out, but this helps a lot with the plus 5k. You're gonna see why. If you know Terabis, you know why, but yeah. And then the action, once per game, you can pay 0, and this Elrig gets action, down 1 up to level 2 Elrig on your field, up this Elrig until the end of the turn. So it's basically, if you use your once per game, you can enter charge 6, basically, right? And then you can use the team piece, which is not as good in this deck than it is on the other two, I feel like, but it's still useful, still works. If you want to do this, you can use it once per game and charge 6 for some reason, and then go into the team piece. The assists, we are going with Aaannndd, which says look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to one signy that shares a color with your center Elrig, and up to one signy that shares a color with an Elrig that is not your center Elrig from among those cards, and add the revealed cards to your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So we're basically going into green and red for search. If we see a Haniel and we want a Haniel or something like that, we go for that. We can go for that. But yeah, it's just searcher for your for pieces that you want in your hand to get your combos out and stuff like that. And then for level 2, we're gonna go with Disrespect. This is just an overall great level 2. Target signy on your opponent's field, gain this signy can attack. You discard 2 cards, you give this signy can attack to another signy, and then you can play a color, 2 colorless and a white to do the same thing. You can just negate 3 attacks. Pretty cool, pretty straightforward. Like Madoka a little bit better because it doesn't let them attack at all. But yeah, it's just straightforward lions. And then for the love it, we're gonna go with a level 1 that vanishes targeting your opponent's field with power 10k or less, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Can kill a lot of things. Even if you grow it a bit later for some reason, it can kill almost anything. Even level 3 10ks, pretty good for that. And then the other one is Crossfade, which you pay 2. On enter, you vanish targeting your opponent's field, and then you can pay a red and 3 colorless to crush one of your opponent's life cloth. Just do a damage. It's 4. You need to pay 4, which is a bit, huh? But we are enter charging. You're gonna see our pieces and stuff like that. We're enter charging, so you might have this. If you really want to go for it, you can do it. You have it at your disposal. Sometimes you want to use it, sometimes you don't. But it's there. It's a great effect. Pretty good, pretty straightforward. Then for pieces, we're gonna go with the team piece. Card Jockey, you need to have all card jockeys on the field. Target on level 3 on the field, and it gets constant. The celery can attack while it is downed, and it can attack up to 3 times per turn, which is pretty nice. And then when this Elrig attacks, shuffle your deck, then reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a level 1 Signy, reduce the number of times this Elrig can attack by 2. If it is a level 2, reduce it by 1. If it is a level 3 or a spell, it can still attack up to 3 times. Right? So that's pretty cool. You are not milling your filtering your deck as much as you are with the other two centers, because we are on Terror Beasts, but it can still be used and useful. It's the team pieces are still strong, so that's why. That's the reason. And then as we are doing in Sangha, we are using GGG, which you use this piece and you get the following ability for the rest of this game. When you grow an Elrig on the field during your turn, if it is your first grow that turn, enter charge 1, just more enter charging every first grow you do every turn. And that's it for the Elrig deck. Then we are gonna look at our level 1s. We're gonna start with the servants, just straightforward, the same as always. You want to run this, everything like that. It's just you want to guard your opponent's stacks, don't you? Then, as I said before, we are running Heniel, Blast Angel, just to look for cards that we want in your hand, pieces for combos, stuff like that. We pay 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal level 2 or less Signy from among them, and add it to your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And then the life burst is basically the same, but it's any Signy, doesn't have a level restriction. Just to filter, look for the stuff you want, and all of that. One of the targets of this might be the next level 1, which is Orangutan, which on enter, target one other Signy on your field, and it gets plus 5k power until the end of turn. You're gonna see how where this will come up. This is pretty much something that will allow some of your combos to work, some of your effects to work, because on this list we want to get pluses to our Signy attacks. So we're gonna get them when we get to the level 3s. The life burst is target one Signy opponent's field, and you may pay 2 green. If you do vanish that Signy, it doesn't need to be upped, so it's just a straightforward pay 2 vanish something, which is pretty nice. Then the last level 1 we're running is Hyakoko, which is the level 1 that whenever this Signy attacks, if its power is 5,000 or more, and a charge 1, once again, we are powering up our Signies to get their attack higher, and all of that to pop out effects like this. Right? Then for level 2s, we are running Musuzaku, which is whenever this Signy attacks enter charge 1. Doesn't have this restriction of Hyakoko, but it's a level 2. We are enter charging. Something that I considered instead of this is the hamster one, that depending on how much attack it has, it vanishes a Signy with a certain power. I have this right now. I've been liking this for enter charging whenever we need to, but I might change it later on with even more testing. But this is something that you can look into, like Musuzaku or Hamster. I feel like both of them are good choices, so you can try out and see which one you like the most. Then another level 2 that we're running is Kalidon. It's basically a level 2 with 12k power. That says when this Signy is vanished, draw a card and enter, discard a card. You have to discard a card to be able to put this on the field, because it's 12k. It needed to have some drawbacks. It's just a level 2 that will let you get to higher power standards with your pluses and everything. I just feel like it works very well. If you play this on turn 2, there is almost nothing your opponent can do to remove this, because it's a 12k level 2. And the life burst is you may pay red and colorless. If you do, vanish target sign your opponent's field with power 12k or less. I don't know if I like to pay 2 for that, but you know, if you have the enter and you want to use it for this, you can do it. But I feel like just being a level 2 with 12k power just helps in some situations, and with your limitations, this can be on the board and fill out some spots. Then the last level 2 we're running is Proboscis Monkey, which this card is awesome. This card just basically kills one of my most hated cards. All right, that blue vanilla level 2 that downs 2. This card basically says, while this Signy has 12k power or higher, it gets constant. This Signy cannot be downed by your opponent's effects. So nothing can down this, right? It's pretty fun. This even gets over Madoka. It gets over that level 2. It gets over a lot of things. It's just basically your opponent cannot down this Signy, which is pretty awesome. And then if you have 15 or more, you can pay 2 colorless and a red, and it gets Assassin until the end of turn, which is another awesome thing. This card overall, like, I love this card so much. The art, for starters, the art is freaking awesome. I love it. It's one of the arts that I like the most. And then the effects, just, this does so much. You can just, if you have this on the board, your opponent can defend very well. If they have the, oh, this that Signy can attack and stuff like that, sure, yeah, no worries, no problem. But if they don't have those kinds of effects and they can only down your stuff, they can down this, and this can get Assassin and just go through them and kill them. This, I love this card. Try it out, see for yourself how good this is. This is pretty awesome. I've seen builds run less. I got to 4. I know I'm building a little bit on the with Haniel and MMC Line Dig to just get like filter and get what you want. Even then, I like to run for this. You are inner charging and all of that. It's a pretty nice card overall. I really like it. And then we're gonna go into our level 3s. We're gonna go first with Buffalo, Phantom Terror Beast God. Auto, whenever another Terror Beast Signy enters your field, the Signy and the Signy that has just entered your field both get plus 4k power. So once again, as you saw in the other Signies, depending on the power you have, you're activating a certain effect. This is the help for that. And then the other effect of Buffalo is, at the beginning of your attack phase, all Signy on your field with power 20k or more gain. Whenever the Signy attacks, you may pay a red and a colorless. If you do, vanish target Signy in front of the Signy with power 12k or less until the end of the turn. So basically, you're giving, if you got to that point, you're giving all of your Signy on the field a on attack vanish. Of course, you have to pay 2, but we have green and we are trying to energize a lot. We have GGG, we have Hyakoko, we have Musuzaku. We even have another level 3 that we're going to talk about in a bit. So, and we have our center Elrig that just, you can down her to enter charge. So overall, we're trying to get a lot of enter so we can pull this stuff off. And yeah, this is a pretty nice level 3. Then we are using another Terror Beast, Asagitsune. Whenever the Signy attacks, if you move one or more cards from your deck into your ender zone this turn, which we are ender charging by effects, so we're putting them from the deck to the ender, you may pay a green and a colorless. If you do, vanish target Signy on your opponent's field with power 12k or more. So if you have Buffalo and this, and the other enter ability of this is up to 2 other targets seeing me get plus 5k until the end of the turn, which is pretty nice too. So if you have Asagitsune and Buffalo, Asagitsune on attack can vanish 2 Signy and one with 12k or less, and one with 12k or more, right? So it's pretty fun. You have a lot of stuff like even if you have these two, you can basically just attack with this one. Like let's say you have your full board and you have everything as 20k or more. Even with just this effect given to Asagitsune, you can attack with Asagitsune, kill two things, and that's basically two empty lanes for you to go to. Of course, your opponent will probably not let you do this, right? But it's something that you can do, something that is possible, and something that it's a lot of fun. With all of this, I'm really getting into Terrorbeast, and I really, really, really like the deck. Then another level 3 is Sabre Tiger. Harmony, 1 red Rig. We have that. We have our DJ Love It. And then, sorry, it says constant. All other Signia on your field get plus 3k. So Buffalo gives 4k to anything that enters after it. Saber Tiger gives everything plus 3k if it is everything else plus 3k if it is on the board, while it is on the board. Asagitsune gives plus 5k when it enters. You see what I'm saying, right? And we still have like Orangutan, when it enters, gives plus 5k, all of that stuff. And then the other ability is when the Signia attacks, enter charge 1. Then, if 3 or more cards were put from your deck into your enters on this turn, so you need to enter charge from deck 3 times this turn, or at least 2 before it attacks. Because the rest of the effect says then, so the enter charge 1 happens before that. The 3 or more cards were put from your deck into your enters on this turn. You may pay 1 color less, a green and a red. If you do, target one Signia opponent's field and vanish it. So with this, you can vanish anything for pay 3. We have Asagitsune for 12 and more, Buffalo for 12k or less. But this is helpful too. You basically, like, if you attack with this first, you enter charge 1, you have your Asagitsune online, all of that stuff. It's just on attack, enter charge 1, level 3. It's pretty fun, gives plus 3k to the rest of your board. It's just another overall great level 3. And then we have Flopsy, just so we have another level 3 that add targets that whenever it attacks, you can add a Signy from your enter zone to your hand. So we are enter charging a lot, so you might have something there that you want on your hand, back on your hand, or you can choose to enter charge 1, so another level 3 that enter charges for earlier turns or anything like that, or if you're still looking for something. And then the life burst is choose 1, vanish target Signia on your opponent's field, or enter charge 1. You can vanish something, it's pretty good overall. That you have Fennec that you can run instead of this, or instead of something else. It's a really great level 3 too. I decided to go with this though. And for the last card on the deck, we are running Good Dig, just once again to filter out the deck a bit more, get 2 Signies or two of any cards from our deck to our hand, look for those pieces you need for your pluses and all of that stuff. So just overall helps, and helps filter out for the team piece Endless Punchline. So that's pretty great. All right, this is a deck. So as you can see, this is a really offensive deck. You wanna give pluses and be vanishing your opponent on attacks. It's pretty fun. You probably, it's like it's better when you get to level 3, so mid game kind of thing. But you get a lot of power if you are ender charging in your early turns. It's pretty fun because you will have a lot of ender to then just ditch out on your level 3 turn. You can use your Elrig to ender charge 6 before even attacking then with Endless Punchline. I don't know, like, if I build this deck centered on Terrorbeasts, I don't know if I wanna build with VJ.Wolf. But even then, this deck is wolf, lion, and a bunny, and we are playing beasts that go well with this. So just the overall theme is just animals, beasts, stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it. This deck seems really, really fun. Try it out, see for yourself, see if you like it. This is the build, so we got to the end of all the new 4 centers. Hope you enjoyed my builds. If you did, don't forget to subscribe because I'm gonna be posting more builds as soon as I can of other stuff. Next set, after this set comes out, I'll start working on builds for the next set. That we have a lot of them, and next set, Dream Team start being a bit more of a thing, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so don't forget to subscribe. Join our Discord channel if you wanna be part of the community. And yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed all of this stuff, right?